Guess it is still morning. I always have to check. I was about to say good morning and I was like, let me check the time first and see if it is, in fact, still morning. Good morning, good morning. At least here on the East Coast of the United States. I know I get a lot of people joining from all over the world, so it's really, really cool. Isn't the internet amazing? The internet's amazing. We can all hang out together today, right here, right now, from anywhere in the world. It is pretty cool. Sorry if my music's too loud. I like to set the mood, get some music playing. Normally I light a candle, but I don't think, actually, I think there is a candle, but I don't think I have a lighter. I do like to light a good candle though. So hi, welcome. How are we? Happy Friday, the first Friday of the New Year's, guys. Wow, can you believe it? Can you believe we've made it to 2025? This is the future. We are in the future. I mean, I'm pretty old, so thinking of like hearing 2025 feels like so far into the future, you know, it's hearing something like, you know, the year 2070. Oh, you're in British Columbia, Canada. It's rainy and gray. Oh, I'm so sorry. It is a lovely day here in South Florida. I mean, I do love the South Florida weather. I even really, really like the heat. I like it. But it is, actually, let's see what the temperature is right now. And I'm wearing this hat as if it's like really cold outside. It's obviously not really cold outside. It's never really cold in Florida. Although, rumor has it, I've been seeing on TikTok that it could get down to like 29 degrees here in sunny South Florida, which is crazy. Let's see what the weather is. I mean, it is sun for days, minimal clouds, no humidity. Let's see what the actual temp is though. 73 degrees. I mean, chef's kiss. That is prime. We are thriving. This is our winter where it's low 70s and sunny. That is South Florida winter and it's gorgeous. You can go to the beach, you can wear a light jacket, like you can do it all. You just want to be outside all the time, which I will be outside after we hang out on this live. I'm gonna go grab lunch outside because it is so lovely out. So welcome, hi guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And it's Friday, so we should be celebrating the first Friday of the new year. How are we? Are we getting into anything fun this weekend? Are we getting anything to be productive, to change our lives this weekend? What are we doing? I can give my whole spiel if you guys want, now that I have a decent amount of people in here. And again, I really appreciate you guys being here. So I'll go ahead and give my introduction if you guys don't mind. Hi, welcome. My name is Laura Anderson, also known as Digital Laura Anderson. I am the founder of the 10-hour 10K work month. I'm also the founder of School of Anti-Workaholics. I am the host of 7-Day Weekend podcast. I am an AI expert and I do keynote speaking events because I am such an AI expert. Internationally, I am a media buyer by trade. What that means is I have clients, I run their meta ads, their TikTok ads, and I do their email marketing. All of which makes me around $80,000 to $120,000 every single month. I work very minimal because I've adapted, you know, the principles of the 4-hour work week and turned them into the new and improved version, which is the 10-hour 10K work month, where I work about 10 hours a month, make well over 10K a month. By automating and delegating all of the work out. I automate using AI and I delegate by hiring freelancers on Fiverr to do all of the work. So pretty cool, and it allows me to live the exact life I want to live, which is where I don't ever wake up to an alarm clock. I cannot tell you the last time I woke up to an alarm clock. Like maybe to catch a flight a long time ago, because I don't have anywhere I have to be. Like, it's wild. And that's how I like to live my life. And I like to wake up and decide what it is that I want to do that day. And I know a lot of other people feel that way too, which is why I'm here and why I come to answer your questions. That is why I go live. I don't have any topics in place. I let you guys ask questions, answer your questions, and I let you guys dictate how the conversation goes based on the questions. Full disclosure, live 2 places at once, here on TikTok, hello TikTok, and here on Instagram, hello Instagram. So I do my best to answer all questions that get asked on both platforms. If I don't answer your question, just keep asking it, because it's just probably I didn't see it. So welcome, guys, and I'm so glad that you are here. We can get into any topics you guys want to discuss. I can answer any questions that you have on AI, 10-hour 10K work month. Also, the 10-hour 10K work month bootcamp that has changed my life and so many of my students' lives is half off only while I'm live. So if this is something that you want to get in on this weekend and crack down and potentially change your entire life in one weekend, which you could, I've seen it happen. Give yourself something to do rather than binge Netflix. Do something that is productive and changing the course, the trajectory of your life, getting out of your shitty 9-to-5. Because trust me, I've been there. Consider the 10-hour 10K work month. It's in the link in my profile. It is half off only while I'm live. That is my way of saying thank you guys for being here and for participating. Discounts automatically applied, and there is Afterpay and Klarna at checkout if you want a payment plan option, so thanks. Do you help brands set up AI processes? I haven't offered that as like an actual service yet. I have helped the current clients that I have. Right now I do things like AI chatbots on websites, lead generation, right? That's what I use in my own business. Is I have my lead generation fully automated using AI. It runs behind the scenes without me lifting a finger, pitches my services for me on my behalf, closes clients, like back and forth conversation, all of that done through AI. That's what took me from $30,000 a month to $100,000 per month, because now I have a cold call email outreach center that works 24/7 and never complains, and I don't have to pay them because it's AI. So completely transform my business. I do provide that in the 10-hour 10K work month, and I've offered that to some of my clients. But no, it's not something that I outwardly go out and pitch to brands and companies. I have been heavily considering it. I want to bundle a bunch of AI services and then go out there and offer them to businesses, and gonna price them in like the hundreds of thousands. But as of right now, I've got a lot of other things going on, so hopefully sometime this year I will. So you don't have a job? I do not have a job. That doesn't mean I don't work. I work minimal, but I still work. But no, I don't have a job. I work for myself. I have clients, I run their meta ads, TikTok ads, and I do their email marketing. I have freelance contractors that I outsource all of the work to, so they handle the work, and my role as the founder is to do things that move the needle in the business, which is to bring in more clients, aka bring in more money, and that is what my sole focus is. And but I do have AI help and do the majority of it. We live in crazy times, right? The future. With Fiverr, do you tend to go with the same people over and over, or is there a lot of turnover? There is not a lot of turnover. When I am vetting a contractor on Fiverr, I do like to make sure that one of the questions that I ask them is, okay, are you able to take on a handful of clients? I'm not gonna work with you if you can only handle one client. And so then that way I have, one dedicated freelancer to my meta ads clients, one dedicated freelancer to my TikTok ad clients, and then one for my email. I have a couple other, but the turnover isn't like that. I guess the music is slightly loud. How do you start if you don't have a large following? This isn't something that you have to have a following for in any capacity whatsoever. You don't need social media for this. I don't get clients on social media. This isn't something where you have to post content and create videos. This is not in that capacity in any way, shape, or form, which is why I think a lot of people gravitate towards it, because we're all shown all these different ways that we can make money online, but it's all about putting ourselves out there, putting ourselves, our face, creating content, all of that stuff. And I'm way more, which is funny at this point in my life, a more behind the scenes person, right? I've only started creating content like 2 years ago. Before that, you know, and like I said, I don't get clients this way. This is where I build my community with you guys, not where I'm getting clients. I get clients on Upwork, LinkedIn, and Indeed, and then I use my AI automation for that. So no, you don't have to have a large following. You don't have to have social media. You're not pitching. You're not getting clients on social media at all. But great question. Is this course for any person career? It is, Karen, and great question, and thank you so much for asking. This is for anybody who, I mean, if you were like me, I mean, I think a lot of people are in similar scenarios that I've been in, where either college just isn't for you, right? And you're so tired of people telling you that that's your only path to success and that you're gonna be such a cliche, working service industry or working like a job that pays $16 an hour or working retail. And you just are like, there has to be another solution, right? Like, college is just not for everybody. And it's thrown upon us like it is, and it's not fair, and it's not, because there are so many paths to success. I'm telling you, everybody I know that has a degree, the most successful people that I know don't have degrees. I don't have a degree, and I'm more successful than anybody I know from my high school that then went on to college. And that's not me bragging, that's just, maybe there are people that I know, or just I'm just not aware. But so this is for any person that, you know, that's not your right path. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that if you want to go to college and get a job, you should do this instead. If that's what you want to do, by all means, you go do that. Have fun. Some people need to be micromanaged. Some people thrive in the climbing the corporate ladder environment, and all the more power to them. But if that's just not for you, then this is an alternative. If you don't want to work a shitty job where, you know, your salary is capped and I make over $100,000 a month, right? Which is, it's still crazy for me to say that, because, like, you know, I've been broke the majority of my life, and I've had my bank account be negative more times than I can count. And I've worked 9 to 5s where I've only lasted 4 months, because it literally, I feel like I'm suffocating, because I just can't. And that's not because I don't like working. I like working when it's the work that I like and it's on my own terms, and I can dictate where, if it's a nice day outside and I want to go outside, I can go and enjoy it and do my work later. Like, that's what I need to be doing. And so that's why I live the way I live. And if that is how you want to live, then this is absolutely for you. It's also for somebody who is motivated, all right? Because some people need to have somebody breathing down their neck, telling them, get to it, this is what you have to do, sit down and do it, right? Nobody's gonna do that. I give you a full-on boot camp that gives you the exact step-by-step, but at the end of the day, you gotta wake up and do it. You gotta wake up, show up, put in the work, get it done, to where you can get to a place that I'm at, right? Which I put in the work for a very long time to get to a point where I am, you know, fully financially free. My husband doesn't work. He's a stay-at-home dad, so he works, but he doesn't have a job. But obviously I'm self-taught, right? And so that's why it took me so long to get to where I am now. I have some students at the 10-hour, 10K work month. Danny, in her first 4 months, made $80,000. Took me 11 years to make that amount, and she made it in 4 months, because she didn't have to do all of the 11 years work of trial and error, figuring it out, carving the path to success. She, you know, got the boot camp of all the steps of success and implemented them, and was able to make it happen. Rick, who purchased the course in June, in 2 months, he was making $50K a month. He was reaching out to plastic surgeons and offering them how to run meta ads for their business, and he was making $50K, and that's monthly. Again, you know, it took me 10 years to hit those numbers, and they're making it because so you, like, the hard work you still have to put in for a lot of people, but hard work for 6 months, you know, 1 to 2 hours a day, 5 days a week for 6 months to get to a place where you're making 10K plus a month, completely independent of a job, is life-changing, completely life-changing. And so if that sounds like it's something for you, then this is definitely a great opportunity. Sorry, I have to scroll all the way down. There's a lot of questions. If I don't answer your question, like I said, please feel free to ask it again, because I'm not skipping it. I am not seeing it. And I am live at 2 places, so I'm live here on Instagram and TikTok. So sorry if I'm looking in other directions and answering questions elsewhere, just so you guys know, full disclosure, because we like to work smarter, not harder here. So being able to be live at 2 places at once is beneficial for everybody, right? With Fiverr, do you tend to go with the same people over and over? I did just answer this question, Nicole. I tend to go with the same person, right? One of the questions that I ask them when I'm vetting them to become my freelancer is, what is your bandwidth? Can you take on multiple clients? It's not worth my while to work with one freelancer per client. That just gets too messy. So I have really one dedicated freelancer that works on my meta ads clients, one dedicated freelancer that works on my email marketing clients, and one dedicated freelancer that works on my TikTok ad clients. And then I have more, for like VA purposes, bookkeeping, stuff like that. What are some key things to look for to know when ads are right for your business? Ads are always right for your business. I mean, I'm in the ads business, so that's what I'm going to tell you. The thing is that ads are reach, right? If you have something that is already converting organically, right? Something that's selling, people like it, you got good reviews, and you're like, okay, well, how can I get more sales, right? And it's because you need more reach. You need more people to see that it's a good product and to know it's a good product and to want to purchase that product. But you can only do so much. I mean, organic content honestly eliminates a lot of the barrier that back in the day you didn't have. That organic content is free to post, and so many small businesses thrive on social media without doing any ads because they have some content. It picks up momentum, it goes viral, they get followers, all for free, right? It's at that point where either maybe you're running a bunch of organic content, it's going really well, and you're like, okay, but I still want to scale, right? I still want to scale. We want to go bigger, and so you run ads. It's just more reach. It's more visibility on what it is you're doing. And if it's working already, you put advertising spend behind it, it's a gold mine, because why wouldn't it be? It's just the only thing that's resisting you from more sales is that more people aren't seeing it. So how can they buy it if they're not seeing it, right? And there's so much strategy that goes into it. Like, you could take a business that's thriving even with ads, and go in there and fine tune it and flip it and double their revenue in a couple of months just by making some tweaks, because ads are so powerful. So every business is ready for ads. The thing I will tell you though is if you are a business and you don't have a lot of money to spend on advertising, to go the organic route first, right? Because the companies that have a lot of money to spend on ads, they don't even waste their time posting the creative in organic, right? They have a different strategy for organic. They just put up a bunch of creative, test it by spending money, seeing what converts and what doesn't work, right? But you have an opportunity to where you can post all that content organically. And what's getting you sales, right? What content is converting for you? What's getting you more followers that then leads to more sales? Then you can take that content. It's already proven, right? You don't have to waste money testing to see if the creative even converts, right? It converts because it's been converting. So if you put advertising spend behind it, it's a no-brainer. It's going to convert because you'll have more visibility on it. So hope that helps. Do I actually teach the skills before you hire freelancers? I don't teach the skills to the freelancers. I look for the freelancers who already are offering those skills and know those skills and are up for hire for those skills. I do tell them my strategy, and I do provide them with the report that they have to fill out, the template for the report that they have to fill out, that I then provide to the client. So it's like my framework, but they know how to run the show. And I teach all of that in the 10-hour 10K work month. You like my beret? Thanks. It's a little chilly out, so I was like, you know what? We're getting the beret out. Is this course applicable for other industries like design or photography? It totally depends, right? This is applicable for anybody who wants to offer services like meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing. If you want to offer those services to design or photography, yes. if you want to do this for your photography or design business, right? Photography is really tough because photography is on location, right? I don't want to be tied to where you have to physically be someplace at a certain time in order to make the work happen, right? That's what you have to do as a photographer. You have to be somewhere and you have to actually put in the hours, and you can't really outsource it. I mean, you can if you have a team of photographers, they know that's how it operates. But typically photographers are very one-person shows, somebody can help with editing, right? And so we need to focus, if you want to be able to scale to these numbers to where you're working minimal, it has to be a digital skill. It has to be something digital, right? Where photo editing is a digital skill, but the actual photography of it isn't. And so it's really hard to scale as a photographer because you can only do so much work. You can only be at so many photo shoots, right? Which is why I stick to digital services. But if you are like a photographer, it's what you love to do, and you want to learn how to run meta ads, you want to learn how to run TikTok ads, you want to learn how to run how to do email marketing for your photography business. I've had so many students purchase the 10-hour 10K work month for their own business. I have Jenny, who it's like I don't want to disclose what she sells fully, but it's personalized women's clothing, and it was doing fine. She was getting sales, and she took the 10-hour 10K work month course, learned how to run meta ads, and she said within like a couple of weeks she increased her sales by over 500%. Crazy numbers, crazy numbers, and her return on advertising spend was like over a 3. Crazy. So like, just imagine you give Meta $100 in ads and it gives you $300 back. That type of return is life-changing. It's tremendous. So just trying to explain, a little bit more. Nicole, are they just providing a video and then you have to create a TikTok ad with it through Canva? So this is where a lot of people get tripped up when I say I do meta ads and TikTok ads, right? They think it's me or my freelancer that's creating the ad, making the ad, doing UGC, editing Canva, all of that stuff. We don't do any of that. It is not the role of a media buyer to produce the creative. It is our role to produce the copy, right? So the caption of the ad, the, buy now, 10% off, that. But the creation of the creative is up to the client, whether they do that in-house, they have a studio that they outsource it to, whatever the case may be. That is not our role at all. Meta ads, when you're a meta ads manager, it is strategic and it is behind the scenes where you're simply operating on the meta ads manager. You're creating the campaigns, you're finding the audiences, you're constantly optimizing, you're turning off, turning on, inputting new creatives, switching out the copy, working on acquisition, then moving on to remarketing. And it's a constant, like super tedious, super nuanced on back end, right? And that's what it is. You can't just take a creative, an ad, give it to Facebook and say, hey, Facebook, here's some money, throw up my ad like a digital billboard. That's not how it works at all. Ads aren't thrown up and you're like, oh, my ad's up and it's not getting any views, nobody's seeing it. Your ads are served to people and you have to find and strategically figure out who to serve those ads to. And that is the role of the media buyer. And it pays really well because so many people will tell you, oh, I've tried meta ads, I've tried TikTok ads and it doesn't work, right? And that's because they don't know what they're doing. It's the most advertised on platform on the planet, not because people are losing money. If people were losing money, people would not be advertising on it. They're making tons and tons of money because they have strategies in place, they know what they're doing, they're optimizing properly, and they're scaling. And that's the role of the media buyer. And that is exactly what I teach in the 10-hour 10K work month. After you take it, you're a certified expert in meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing. And it's not something you can learn in school. You can't get a degree in this. I don't have a degree, period. There's no degree in meta ads, and it's mainly because there's no curriculum, 4-year curriculum that would make sense because it changes so frequently. Another great thing, if you purchase the 10-hour 10K work month, you're entitled to any and all updates. I'm constantly adding updates to it. 2025 is going to have a ton of updates, and you're entitled to them fully complimentary without having to lift a finger or pay a dime. Jojo, you're amazing. Thank you so much for all the valuable info you give. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And I really appreciate you being here and saying that. This is why I go live. It's to answer your guys' questions. I know it's cliche and silly, but like, this is the coolest thing ever. Being in this position that you guys have put me in and being able to change lives. I've said it before, but there was somebody in here the other day who she was on Instagram, and she said that she just quit her job as a professor because she's learning so much and making so much money from the 10-hour 10K work month. And that's crazy. I mean, a professor is a good job, but she hated it. And I've known that pain of where you feel stuck and trapped and you're in a position that you hate, but you don't have a choice because you're pigeonholed, right? Professors a lot of times too can't get other jobs elsewhere. Like, teaching is very isolating and pigeonholed. And so she felt stuck, and she's like, I can't go back to school. It's expensive. And I've felt that pain, obviously not the college thing because I didn't go to college, but the pain of feeling like a prisoner and that you don't have a choice because you've got bills to pay and you're still not even making enough money, and what you're doing you absolutely hate. And so hearing stories like that and having students pop in and mention that to me is why I show up every day. Because yeah, it's really cool that I was able to do it, but it's nothing like hearing your guys' stories about you guys being able to do it too. Like, we're in this together, we're in this movement together, and how cool is that? Like, it's so fulfilling, genuinely, and I appreciate you guys so much, so thank you. Will this work for a catering business? Again, catering is an on-location based business, right? So these are things that you want to be able to do from home. That way you can service anybody, anywhere. I have clients from all over the world because I don't have to, I've only had one client that was local, not even super local. They were in Miami, so like an hour away. I had that client for 5 years, and I saw them in person 3 times, just as we're close by, I should pop into the office, as like, a business courtesy. But other than that, and I can do the work whenever, right? I don't have to be on my computer from 9 to 5, neither do my freelancers. If the job gets done, we don't care if it takes you 2 minutes, we don't care if it takes you 2 weeks, right? The job gets done, it's a good work done, we are happy, everybody gets paid, everybody's happy. And when you do something like a catering business, right, you have to be present for that, right? And like I said, if you want to learn to run ads, do email marketing for those businesses, the 10-hour 10K work month is great. I've had plenty of students have their own business and learn these skills and apply them to their business, and they've been great. You're also going to learn how to offer those services, but hey, more knowledge the better, right? But it's not going to apply for anything that's really, right? You can't offer catering businesses to anybody in the world unless you've got people that are able to cater you from around the world. What about for real estate agents? So there's a lot of things in it that would be good for real estate agents. Definitely Facebook ads, definitely email marketing, and the AI automation. I've had one student who was a real estate agent, but he wanted to get out of that, and he wanted to do this, right? Where he wanted to learn meta ads and then offer it to businesses. But he ran a case study for himself where he ran ads promoting himself as a real estate agent. And then he also used the lead generation automation. And he said he got like 3 listings using the AI automation and then a couple from running ads. And so he was making money and he was happy. And he's like, you know what, I'm going to stick with this and just use the tools and keep going with real estate. So yeah. Kaylee, side note, I'm killing this live. You love how I'm hopping question to question. Thank you so much. I can take this live and put it on YouTube and send it out to you guys in an email if you want. That is something I do when the lives are going well. If you're not signed up for my emails, you guys should. I give out tons and tons of free prompts, AI prompts, motivational information, anti-workaholic digest, really, really cool, fun stuff. And you'll never miss it. Do you think meta ads would work for life insurance agents to get leads? Absolutely. Meta ads works for any business, right? Any business can benefit from meta ads no matter what. Think about if you were to post any video on social media that was promoting something just organically and it sold, right? any business could benefit from that, right? If any business was like, hey, I have this amazing cup here. It's really, really cool. It's the best cup ever. You should buy it. And if it got sales, right, that would be beneficial. And that's just what ads are. If it's something that people want to buy, you run an ad for it, more people see it, people buy it, right? It's not as simple as that, but you know, any business, every business can benefit from it. Especially like, well, I actually don't know about life insurance, if it's like location based, right, where you can only do it in a state, but it does give you more reach, right, where you're not just able to go knocking on doors or calling people that are local, right? You have an abundant reach. And so absolutely. Also the lead generation, the AI automation that I have, tremendous for insurance. Because what it does is I show you how to get leads. This is in the 10-hour 10K work month. I show you how to get leads using Boolean searches. Anybody can do this. You put those leads into a lead list, so in Excel, and you put it into the AI automation that I have that I built out in Zapier. I give you the template for it and walk you through the customization of it. I show you how you create a custom GPT that is you or the best life insurance sales agent of all time that can close any client, even the hardest ones to close, right? How you can create that and then set that automation up to where anytime you have a new lead added to that list, that custom GPT pulls that lead, puts it into your email for you, writes a custom subject line, writes a custom body of the email, pitching your life insurance services, why it's best for them, if you've got any case studies that would be relevant for them, yada, 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 sends that email out for you on your behalf, pitching those services, those offers. And then if they email back, it will have that back and forth email conversation with them with either the goal in mind to close them right there through an email. If you have like a sign up link that you can give them, provide for them, they sign up through that link, or book a call with you. So that would be absolutely tremendous for you. I have so many clients who have used this lead generation and absolutely crushed it. Nicole says she purchased the 10-hour 10K work month and just got through the TikTok course and it was awesome. So much info. Thank you. You're so welcome, Nicole, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. I can't wait to hear more about your progress and how you're liking it and the things you're doing with it. How cool is that? Keep in mind, guys, the 10-hour 10K work month is half off while I am live. It is my way of saying thank you guys for being here and for participating. That offer does extend till about 20 minutes after the live. So if you want to use this weekend to dive into something, to learn something new, to get out of your job that you may or may not hate, or have something that's going to actually supplement your bills, the inflation and prices are nuts. I don't know if you saw the video I posted about the room at the Four Seasons, but holy shit. And so if you want to just dedicate a weekend to learning something and like as a promise to yourself that you're going to make a change and you're going to do something, you're going to take that risk, you're going to take that investment, there's no better time, right? I know January is the month where we actually decide we're going to change, we're going to do something. So there's no better time. And there really is no time like the present, right? Where you're like, oh, I'll do it when I have this time, or, oh, I'll do it after I do this, blah, blah, blah. Like no time like the present. It's now or never. Where do you find clients? Upwork or LinkedIn? I get clients on Upwork, LinkedIn, and Indeed. And then I use that AI automation that I was just talking about. If you book a client, are they going to pay you monthly or is it a one-time payment? So it's ongoing. You have clients on monthly retainers. They pay you at the beginning of the month. Normally I have a net 30 for my invoices, which means they've got 30 days to pay it. But when I do book a client, when I get them on first, I will not start work for them until they pay the initial setup fee. That way I know, okay, they're actually going to pay me. I'm not just going to have them sign the contract and then get to work. And then the month ends and I don't have any money, right? They haven't paid me. So that's not going to happen. So I get the initial setup fee first, I get to work, I send them the invoice for the month of that month that we are working on, and they have a net 30, meaning they have 30 days to pay it. Yeah, and then every month on the first, I send them the invoice for that month. Most of the time, I mean, I've had some clients that pay like legit on day 30, but a lot of clients pay within a week. Do I teach meta ads in the course? You have a background in corporate IT for 25 plus years and you have changed. Yes. So I teach you meta ads, I teach you TikTok ads, and I teach you email marketing. These, after you take the course, you're a certified expert in all three. These are the 3 skills that I've narrowed it down to because I've offered so many, right? I've been doing this for over 11 years. I'm old and I've been at it for a while, and this is why it's good for you to learn from somebody who's actually been there, done that, and knows what works and what doesn't work, right? I've done SEO, I've done graphic design, I've done website development, I've done Google ads, I have done social media management. I have offered all of them, and I've narrowed it down to meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing because they pay the most and they're the easiest to outsource, right? So I'm gonna stick with those 3. Once you get more than that on your plate, you're a generalist, and it's hard to book clients because it's like, okay, should I look for clients for this service, this service, this service, this service, this service, this service? You wanna look for like no more than 3 because then it just, your time is spread way too thin. But you also want to have 3 services so that you can bundle, right? And 3 that make sense together. So I have some clients who are on board for all 3 services, right? I have one client that pays me $10,000 a month for meta ads alone. But then I have another client that pays me, it's just over $20,000 a month because they're on board for all 3. So it's good to have a services that you can bundle that make sense to bundle together, right? We want to have their emails and their socials cohesive, right? So that anytime that somebody in their customer journey is looking at this product, everything is cohesive, it flows, and it's just much more easier to make that close or that sale. That marketing is streamlined. So those make sense in that way. And I teach you all of this, like the business side of it, which is where every other course I've seen has fallen short. I had somebody the other day in my live who purchased the 10-hour 10K work month, and she said she spent over $12,000 on other courses, and none of them taught the business side of it, right? They taught the skills, what you need to do to be able to set a client up, how to actually manage them, all of that stuff. But then they didn't teach the business side. It's like, okay, cool. Yes, now I've learned this. Now, how do I actually get clients? How do I actually make money with it? And so that is what I have focus heavily on in the course. I also teach you how to position yourself as an expert and how to get clients. I give you every single resource you need to make it happen. Cover letter template, proposal template, contract template, scope of service templates, client onboarding checklist, mock interviews with a client, literally everything you need. And these aren't your run-of-the-mill templates. These are the ones I've used, built over the last 11 years that closed me those $20,000 a month clients, right? So you get everything you need. You get lifetime access. I'm always adding updates to it. There's self-paced video modules. You take it at your leisure. And you're always entitled to any and all updates. There's no hidden fees or anything like that. It's not like you purchase this and you have to buy a bunch of stuff. Absolutely not. This is it. I made my first $10,000 a month without spending a dime. A dime. I mean, you have to have Wi-Fi and a computer, but you know who has that for free? The library. So you literally don't have to spend a dime to make $10,000 a month. Is my course free? Am I seeing that right? You are not seeing that right. The course is not free. I do have a free masterclass that kind of dives into the course and gives a lot of really good tidbits and info, but it's to see if the 10-hour 10K work month is a good fit for you. The 10-hour 10K work month is typically $4,000. The resources in there alone are worth way, way, way more than that. I'm telling you that the AI automation that I have in there, that Rick, one of my more recent students, he in 2 months was making $50,000 a month because he was reaching out to plastic surgeons using the AI automation to reach out to them, close them without him having to lift a finger, and then he was getting them on board for meta ads. While I'm live though, the 10-hour 10K work month is half off. It's just under $2,000. So there's no better time to buy it than when I'm live. I don't go live on the weekends, unfortunately, but you will see the discount automatically applied at checkout, and there is Afterpay and Klarna if you're looking for a payment plan option. And you become a part of my community, right? You become a part of this anti-workaholic movement. And like I've said, right, my success is super cool, but having it alongside you guys, when I get students messaging me that they've been able to quit their job or they just had their first 10K month, right? It's like, it's incredible. It's this movement we're in together, and this is what's fulfilling for me. And right, the community is the best part of this. And so joining that, you know, we're the anti-work movement, and it's really, really cool, and it's really, really exciting. Please explain again. Sorry, you just joined. What is meta ads? So great question. So it is what I teach in the 10-hour 10K work month. It is a service that you can provide. Any of the ads you see on Facebook or Instagram are meta ads, right? They are ads that companies, brands put up in order to get more sales. And they spend hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars every single month, year on these ads in order to make sales. And it pays very, very well if you know how to work the back end of Meta Ads Manager, put these ads up, find the audiences for them, strategically optimize them, and make them profitable, which is what I do. There's no degree in this. It's something you have to learn online. Because there would be no curriculum that they could put together for a degree because it changes so fast, right? In 4 years, it would be totally irrelevant what you learned in school, which is why it's important to learn from somebody who's actually in the space doing it and is constantly keeping up with the changes and can inform you. So it's basically, right, let me see, I made a picture for a video, kind of what it looks like on the back end when you're running ads and how you set it up. So let me see if I can find it. It's in here somewhere, I think. Oh, okay. So when you get into Facebook Ads Manager, you need to set up a campaign, right? And the campaign is with an objective. The objective is going to be your end goal for the brand, the client, whatever. So I work with beauty and skincare e-commerces, right? So their objective is always purchases, right? Because they're e-commerce. They don't care about anything else except getting people to purchase their products. So the campaign that I'm having, and this is for acquisition, right? This is to find new customers. So the objective I'm going to have is for purchases. There are so many objectives you can have. You can have awareness, you can have traffic, you can have lead generation, you can have app downloads, you can have video views, you can have people adding to cart. There are so many objectives you can have, right? But you always, and this is insider knowledge, right? So many people will go in there and optimize for the complete wrong thing because they're like, oh, like, I want to get sales. I'm going to run traffic to my website, right? No, wrong. That's all Facebook is going to do for you. You tell Facebook what you want and that's what it's going to deliver. If you want traffic, it's going to give you traffic. It's not going to give you sales. It's just going to give you traffic. So you don't want that. You want what your end goal is. And so many people miss the mark on that and they will optimize for the wrong thing, which is why they pay me an expert. So we're going to optimize for sales. Then within this campaign, we're going to need to find at least 5 to 10 audiences, right? You're going to need to do a competitor analysis report of your client. You're going to need to develop a client avatar for them, which is who their ideal customer is, right? So say this is for a Gen Z, right? Whatever their age is, the other things that they're interested in, right? So let's create audiences that are Gen Z focused, right? So what are things Gen Z like? They like Sephora. So let's create an audience for all people in the age range of Gen Z that like Sephora. What are other things they like? They like the TV show Euphoria. Other things that they like going to Coachella. You can have millions of audience options. You can go into behaviors, right? So who are people that actually purchase certain products that are known to purchase that within this time frame? That can be an audience. Then when you've got 5 to 10 audiences, within each audience, that's where you have your ad, right? So within each audience, you want to have 5 to 10 ads as well. The ads can be the exact same within each audience, right? Because they're all Gen Z focused. So the ads are going to be relevant to wherever you put them in these audiences, right? But you want to have at least 5 to 10. So it is not our job as the media buyer to develop the creative. The client provides the creative for us. We put it in, we write the copy, right? Like, here's this dope product, buy now, 15% off for the next 24 hours. Whatever you may have, right? ChatGPT does this. And so you're gonna let this run for a couple days. You're gonna let it spend money, right? You're gonna let Facebook buy data to figure out who's buying, what's working, what's not working. You're gonna look at this, you're gonna go in there. Obviously you're gonna check in on it every day, but you're not gonna make any moves for a couple days. Then you're gonna look at it. You're gonna go into your audiences, okay? Which audiences are profitable, okay? Who's converting? Facebook tells you all of the information. I can tell my clients down to the penny how much money I've brought into them. It's not like straightforward. You have to pull Facebook, set up your columns properly in order to extract this information. Again, I walk you through the entire process. It sounds really technical. It is pretty technical. It's advanced, but I teach you from a beginner all the way to expert. So don't worry, you're not supposed to know how to do any of this when you get into the training because I teach it. And so, okay, which of these audiences are profitable? Say say only 2 of them were profitable and these 3 weren't profitable. So we're gonna turn these off. We're gonna take them out, okay? And we're gonna leave these ones on. Now we need to go into the 2 profitable ones and we need to go into the audience and look at the ads. Which of the ads were profitable, okay? Say only 1 of them was profitable. So we're gonna turn the other 4 off. Now what we have to do is we have to put 4 new ads in, right? We are constantly testing. Then we also need to put in 3 new audiences, right, to test. And it's a constant game of that. Then say you've got one audience that's just crushing it and you go into that audience and 3 of the ads that were crushing it and they've been crushing it for weeks. You're gonna take that audience with those ads, only the ads that are crushing it, with the audience that's crushing it, isolate it, duplicate it, and then you're gonna add additional budget to it. And that's what's called scaling profitably. And you can narrow it down too, right? To what age range is actually converting. Say maybe 25 to 30-year-olds, they're not converting. It's spending money on them and they're not converting, so we're gonna eliminate them. We're gonna stop showing them the ad because it's costing us money and they're not converting. And keep in mind, this is just acquisition. Then you have to do remarketing too. So a lot. Sorry if that was a mouthful, but this is why they pay me the big bucks. This is why they pay my students the big bucks, because we know how to make them profitable. And so you'll hear so many people be like, hey, I tried meta ads and it didn't work. And it was like, were you doing all of this? Were you doing all of this? Because if you weren't, then it's not gonna work because it's very strategic, it's very technical, and you have to know what you're doing. It's the most advertised on platform on the planet, which means people are making money. They wouldn't advertise on it if they weren't making money. So yeah, I hope that all of that made sense and was easy to digest. Don't worry, I make it a lot easier to digest in the 10-hour 10K work month. And I take you through my clients' accounts. I show you the exact moves I make. I manage millions of dollars annually and I show you all the steps I take. So you're not learning from it, learning about it like in a theory, right? Whereas that's how you learn in school. It's all theory. A lot of these professors who are teaching anything, which of course you can't get a degree in this, but in anything else, it's theory. Majority of professors that are teaching stuff have never actually done the stuff themselves, right? So you're not learning a theory of what works, you're learning what actually works. Linda, how am I typically paid by clients? Monthly, weekly, the job, reoccurring, so it's monthly, they're on monthly retainers. I send out an invoice the first of every month and they pay me for the month of work that I'm about to do. You're not old. Well, thank you. I feel very old, but thank you. Okay, sorry, I have some weird spam people in here. Let me get rid of them. Sorry, guys, but I hope that was easy enough to digest. I mentioned that I did design before. Can you combine this with branding services? Absolutely, and you should. And things are easier now than ever because of AI, because of Canva AI, because of Midjourney, all of that good stuff. I've seen some crazy design stuff from people using Midjourney. Crazy good. Saf says you're really interested in the course, you just need some questions answered. Please go ahead and ask. Sorry if I skipped any questions because I'm trying to answer as best as I can and I will just scroll and answer them as I see them. So if I don't answer your question, please feel free to ask it again. Is digital ID core to the AI infrastructure being built? I have no idea what you mean. So let me scroll up and see if there's questions that I missed. How do you manage your clients' expectations that it takes time and interactions of tweaking campaigns? That's a great question, Mel, and it's really, really, really important to manage clients' expectations. I have had so many clients poached from me, not so many, but I've had a good amount of clients poached from me by agencies that make insane promises, right? Insane promises. Like I have this story of this one client who he had 2 brands, right? Two different companies that he owned, and one was like a rugged, like outdoorsy, think of like a Patagonia type person, skincare. And then he had, that was more of just like body care, like hair and like body washes and like bars of soap. and hand sanitizer. And then he had another brand that was more high-end skincare that was, you know, oil cleansers, all of that good stuff, but it was very like earth eco-friendly, okay? So two really, really good brands that I had, and he told me that he was going to sever ties with me because he's going to go work with this agency, and I know this agency very well because they've been around the block, and the horror stories from this agency. And so I was like, listen, like, I highly do not recommend that. I have you at a 4 times return on ad spend on both brands. Like, we consistently, outside of sales, during sales, we're at an 8 to 10 return on ad spend. Like, we are crushing it. I highly do not recommend you do that. And he's like, well, they told me, they looked into my ad account and told me that you're doing a shit job, that they can do so much better, and that my brands and all of this stuff deserve so much better, right? Because he could take them to the moon. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let you fall on your own sword, sir. Bye. He went over to there, worked with this agency who promised insane expectations, right? 3 months later, guess who comes? Obviously not really at my door, but sends me an email and it's like, hey, Laura, hope all is well. Can you take a look at my ad account? They're telling me it's going really, really well. Sales are showing another story. Sure, because this is gonna feel good for me too. So I go in and I look at the ad account, and right, I had them at a 4, right? A 4, meaning for every dollar they spent on ads, they got $4 back. Like, do the math. If you're spending a lot of money, that's a huge return. I get in there, they are under a 1. A 1. So they're losing money. They're not even profitable. They were at like a 0.78. The gasp, I gasped. I was like, this takes work to get it this bad. Like, they just fucked it up so bad. And I was like, how are they telling you it's going good? And he's like, well, they say, you know, Facebook and Meta is top of the funnel and you can't be profitable at top of the funnel. And that we're getting a lot of reach and impressions. Okay, well, are those reach and impressions converting? No, so they're bullshit reach and impressions. Who cares how much reach you're getting if they're not translating into sales, right? And I was like, yeah, Meta's top of the funnel, right? That's where you can get clients or new customers, but it can still be profitable. Do you not remember where I had you? Like, did you forget? Like, has this agency literally brainwashed you in my head? And he's like, yeah, man, I gotta get out. And I was like, show me the reports they're sending you. How are they saying you're doing well? And the reports just didn't even include the things that were important. Like, okay, what's your return on ad spend? What's your cost per purchase? The cost per purchase had like tripled. It was painful to look at. Anyways, so he of course came back to me and I was like, listen, I'm gonna have to charge you a cleanup fee because you made a mess here, and my rate's gone up because now you've learned a very valuable lesson. And a very expensive lesson, and to not go with the hype bros who are going to stroke your ego and lie to you. And so for me to manage those expectations now, where I brought him back on, I said, you know what? It's not gonna be like you're gonna give this account back to me and I'm gonna make it back to 4 return on ad spend overnight. First, we gotta clean up this shit show, and then we gotta go back into re-optimizing, because all the hard work I done, that data is still there, but now it's mixed in with all that garbage data. So sorry to go into that, but that's what you don't wanna do, right? You don't wanna oversell your client on expectations that you can't deliver and then make a mess, and then it's just bad business overall. So I always tell my clients, you know, that you have to at least give it 90 days to see the needle move in any direction, right? And we're not, so many clients will get upset where if their first month they're not profitable and they're like, we're spending money, we're wasting all of this money, and you have to tell them you are not wasting money. You are spending money on information. Meta is providing you the data that we need in order to make these ads successful. You cannot just throw up an ad and have it convert without Facebook learning who to send that ad to, who's actually gonna convert. And so I have to, on the back end, narrow it down for Facebook, and then Facebook has to take it and do its thing and figure out what works, what doesn't work, eliminate that process, and the only way it can do that is to spend money. And so you're not losing money, you're buying data, you're buying information. You're seasoning your pixel, which is the pixel is what it goes on the client's website that tracks all of the traffic. So it can determine who's converting, who's not converting, who to keep showing the ad to, who to not keep showing the ad to. Okay, who are the people that are purchasing? What do all the characteristics and interests and behaviors they have in common? Let's go find other people who have those same things in common, because they're all obviously going to convert too. And so when you tell it to them like that, and I like to tell them reasonably, like, listen, it's pay to play. Your competitors are all, like, you can show them their competitors are running ads. You can show the ads their competitors are actually running and be like, listen, you're sitting here complaining that you're spending money on Facebook ads when your competitors are doing the same thing. They've already gone through this process where they've had to spend money, maybe not seen results right away, to get to the point to where they are now. Now they're running a ton of ads, and you think that they're running a ton of those ads and they've been running a ton of those ads for a very long time and not making money? Of course not. They've already gone through the process of buying data, figuring out what works, what doesn't work. They're on a pace where they're actually making money, they're profitable now, and they're consistently doing it, which is why they continue to run ads over and over and over. You want to get to that point, you got to pay to play. There are no shortcuts. You got to deal with it. Like, put on your big boy pants. You want to run a business. This is what it takes. This is what it costs. And say, we got to give it 90 days to see any tangible results, right? To know whether or not if our efforts are actually making a difference in your business, if we're getting a decent cost per purchase, if it's the offer that's too much or you're charging too much shipping, all of that stuff, right? So that's how you manage clients' expectations. I like to be brutally honest with them. You know, Facebook isn't a money printing machine. If it was, we'd all be very, very rich. It takes takes money, it takes time. You got to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And that's how I'm here to help you do it strategically so that you don't lose more money, because you would if you're trying to do it on your own or you're paying somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Sorry, Mel, that was long-winded. I hope that that made sense. How do you duplicate it? You're talking about how do you take the audience that's performing really, really well with the ads that are performing really, really well. There is an option in Meta to, when you hover over the campaign or the ad set audience, that says duplicate. Chris says this is so good. I'm so glad. I'll download this one and put it on YouTube and send it out to you guys in an email over the weekend. So if you want to rewatch it, you can. Because this was, I've given you guys a lot of juicy information. As an FB ads expert, is your strategy more e-com products because it's difficult to sell? So e-com, the thing is, I have like a weird like adrenaline or high running e-com ads, because the purchase is up to us as the media buyer, right? Whereas if you have a client that's lead generation, it's your job as the media buyer to provide them with leads, and then it's their job to take those leads to their sales team or whoever and close those leads, right? But for e-commerce, it's our job to make the purchase happen right then and there through the ad. And for me, it's like, I guess the kind of feeling you get at a casino when you do the slot machine and you see these numbers go up. I get that adrenaline. I'm like, ooh, another sale. Ooh, look at the return. Ooh, look at the return on ad spend. Like, ooh, we're cooking. Like, this feels good. We're wheeling and dealing a lot of money here, you know? So it's like, ooh, I like it. Also has its pitfalls where if you lose a lot of money, but you know, you got to risk it to get the biscuit, baby. But the strategies and all, it's all the same, right? It's all the same. Lead generation is going to be the same as e-commerce, right? You're going to have to find audiences that convert and get leads that are cheap, but are also quality leads. It's all the same. Where is a good place for a complete beginner to start making money and avoid a job? Ooh, I love this question because I like avoiding jobs. And, you know, when you're a total beginner, you feel like you have no choice, you have no option, right? And while I do believe that this isn't something or you should do anything to try to make money that's not making you money yet and be fully dependent on it, right? You need to have your bills covered. So you need to work a job that at least covers your bills, while you build up something on the side, because it's really, really dangerous to be all in on something and you make moves based on, okay, I need $1 right now. And it might not be the best decision long-term, but because you need your bills paid, you're going to take that business, you're going to make that move, and it's the wrong move, right? But you feel you don't have a choice. So have your bills covered so that you can be smart with the choices that you make when building up a side hustle or anything like that. For me, the best place as a total beginner to make money and avoid a job would be to learn a high in demand trade, right? Digital trade, right? Because you want to be from your computer, you don't want to have to be on site, you want to be able to sip a pina colada at the beach while working and not have a worry in the world about a job. And that is what high paying digital trades can do. There's so many trades. I narrowed it down myself to meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing, which are the ones I teach. I certify you in them, and it's because they pay the most and they're the easiest to outsource. So, you know, if I were to start all over again, I wouldn't offer all of the services that I offered. I offered website design, graphic design, social media marketing, SEO. I offered so many services, and I would have just scrapped all of them because those don't pay the most. They're tedious, time consuming. They're not easy to outsource. And it would have just been, you know, you live and you learn. That's the thing, is when you're learning on your own and you're doing it yourself, you take the stairs instead of taking the elevator, where you learn from somebody that's like, hey, don't offer those services. And listen, plenty of people make money, really good money with those services, right? But the paid ad space, hands down, pays the most, because you actually drive real revenue, where SEO of course drives revenue, but you can't put a dollar sign behind it because it's organic. You can't say that because of my SEO efforts, you now have an extra $50,000 a month, right? Where, say the year before they had $50,000 less, and the only thing they did to change was SEO, they had $50,000. You could still say, well, that could have come from here, could have come from there, because there's nothing telling you, right? Facebook tells you specifically which ad converted, how much money it cost for that ad to convert, the cost per purchase, and how much the sale was, so how much your return on ad spend was. And it's like the only service that really does that. Email as well does that too. You can see exactly how much emails have brought in for you, which is why I offer meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing. So learn those skills, learn those trades. You can't get a degree in them, so don't go to school. You have to learn them online, either self-taught or learning from somebody who's an expert who's in it now, like me, in my 10-hour 10K work month. Then you got to position yourself as an expert. Then you got to reach out to potential clients on Upwork, LinkedIn, and Indeed. You've got to reach out to hundreds before you hear a single yes. But once you do, it's a snowball effect. You start getting more and more clients. Start outsourcing the work so that you do very little work. Think of it like the new and improved 4-hour work week. And you're cooking. Jimmy, you started listening to my podcast. How fun. I hope you're enjoying them. How long have I been doing this? Over 11 years now. Your girl is old. What am I noticing is working for e-com right now on the meta ad side? Oh, that's a good question. And I mean, I don't keep up with, I don't like follow the latest trends or that stuff. Those are a vicious cycle that you can get into where you're constantly chasing a magic unicorn. You guys probably know that's to be true if you've ever listened to somebody tell you, oh, this is how you get a bunch of followers online, and you apply everything that they say and it doesn't work, right? And it's like, oh, the algorithm changed, so you have to put like this hashtag, right? Like all of those little things. I don't abide by that. The only real thing that's gonna work always consistently is nonstop testing. If you stop testing, you will go stagnant and the campaigns will die. You have to be constantly testing. Put in new audiences and put in new ads regularly, no matter what. There is no shortcut. There is no, I mean, sometimes you'll have an ad that's profitable that's running for a year. Totally fine. That doesn't mean you have to you can only leave that one ad running. You have to have multiple ads. You have to be testing multiple audiences, all of that stuff. And be consistent with it. You let the data tell you what's working, what's not working. So the ad creatives that you have that are converting well, look at them. What do they all have in common, right? Are they all UGC? Are they all carousel posts? Are they all video posts? Do they have sort of a similar hook? Do they mention a certain feature? Do they pull on a certain heartstring? Keep coming up with content that is proven to convert. So use that content as a roadmap, right? And create more creatives like that. And that's what I would tell the client. Other than that, there's no secret sauce. There is nothing that it's like, what's working in e-commerce right now? It's testing, because I'll tell you what, I have one client, and I work with beauty and skincare, right? So they're all in the same industry, and I'll have audiences and creative styles that work killer for one client. And then I try it for another client and it tanks, because it just, no two clients are the same. It doesn't matter if they're in the same industry selling the same type of product. It doesn't always translate across the board. So always remember that there is no secret sauce, that if somebody is trying to sell you a secret sauce, it's full of shit, because there is no secret sauce. It's just testing. And you just have to be really good at testing and strategic with it. You love my social media tips. Well, thank you. How do you suggest protecting privacy on social platforms? I feel like that is a loaded question, because you give up privacy, like in an exchange for being on social media, you have to give up privacy. Like that is your catch-22. You can protect your privacy as much as you want by not disclosing as much as you want, but like, the second you step foot on the internet, you are exposed. Your privacy is long gone. People think that, you know, TikTok is spying on you. Google spies on you so much. And just think about Google in the sense that you use Google for everything. You use it for your search. You use it for your email. You use it for your photos. You use it for everything. Google has access to everything that is on your phone. If you've got Google Chrome on your phone, Google Chrome has access to access your photos in your photo album and look at them. There is no privacy among free products, right? The internet is free to use, right? You have to buy Wi-Fi, but you can go to the library and use the internet for free. And in order to use it, they're going to track your data, and they're going to use that data and monetize it. And that is your trade-off. That is the trade-off. I'm sorry. If you want your privacy protected, the internet is not for you. Probably not the answer you wanted to hear. Saf, you need to have a quick chat with me. If you have questions about the 10-hour 10K work month, if you go to the checkout page in the link in my profile, the checkout page does have a Google text number, and I can answer any questions that you have via that number if you have questions about the 10-hour 10K work month. Obviously, I'm live right now, so I'll have to get to the question after the live. Oh, I do have to run though. Wow, this has been a really long live. Normally I don't go, I keep it at just an hour. It's been an hour and 7 minutes. So I'm gonna try and answer any last few questions that I can. Keep in mind, I will download this live and post it to YouTube and send it out to you guys via email. So if you're not signed up for my emails, check out the link in my profile. You can sign up. You get really good emails too, motivational, anti-workaholic digest, all my AA prompts, all that good stuff. Cosmetic clients. You currently have 2 clients. One is in the beauty and the other is in painting and decorating. How cool is that? Well, congratulations. That's awesome. Do I need to be a registered business to do this? Great question, and thank you so much for asking, John. I have a phrase or a saying that I like to say, and it is, don't get fancy until you're fancy. I had my first $10,000 months without spending a single dime or doing anything like making a legitimate business, right? Registering it as a business, getting an LLC, right? You can absolutely 1,000% operate as a self-employed contract worker. That costs you $0 to do. The only money you have to spend if you don't want to purchase the course, right, is Wi-Fi and the computer. Again, the library has those for free. Don't get fancy until you're fancy. If you haven't brought in a client, if you haven't generated a dime in revenue, and I'm not even talking about profit, if your business hasn't generated a dime, you are not a business. You are an idea that is hopefully going to turn into a business. The only time you're a business is when you're generating revenue. Because, I mean, there are plenty of businesses like Amazon for a long time wasn't profitable, but they were generating billions, right? But they weren't even profitable. And so they're a business, right? It doesn't mean they're profitable, but they're still a business because the idea works, right? The market says it's working because they're paying you. And so you don't have to spend money on fancy things until you're fancy, until you have a way to justify yourself. Listen, people are paying me money. What I'm doing is working. I'm going to invest in my business so I can grow it. So you get an LLC when you get a couple of clients in, so that you can always do a DBA, which is free, a doing business as, so that if you're worried about somebody suing you, which I've never it's not normal. You don't need a fancy logo. You don't need a fancy email. I still use an @gmail.com. Nobody cares. You don't need a fancy website. You should get a website, but you don't need a fancy one. You can get free ones, right? You don't need to do any of this stuff in order to make money online. And so many people are like, oh, I've had people tell me that they've invested like $10,000 into creating like what I do. Like, they didn't purchase the course, obviously, because I don't suggest doing any of that. And if you follow my steps, you're more likely to get a client. And they think that because they've invested this money and that they look really nice, that's what works. And it's not. It's not. You're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of money realizing that, oh, I should do it a different way. And an expensive lesson to learn. Bo, how do we get in the Facebook group? Great question. So the Facebook group is a Facebook group for 10-hour 10K work month students only. Another great, super great benefit if you purchase the 10-hour 10K work month. You get access to this community where you can ask a question. I answer every question that gets asked in that group. But you also have an instant community of other people on the journey who can give you insight, share motivational tips, all of that good stuff. Do you know good alt phone number app to use so you can separate business from a personal call? Another great question, and why you don't have to spend money. Download Google Voice. It's free. You can create any free number you want. It won't look like a spam number either. It'll look like it has the same area code as your regular phone number. And so it can be a totally different phone number. You make calls, you make video calls, texts, all of that stuff. And it's free. All right, so I do have to run, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're interested in the 10-hour 10K work month, it's half off for the next 20 minutes only. I offer it half off while I'm live. It's normally $4,000. It's just under $2,000. Discount code is automatically applied at checkout. There's Afterpay and Klarna if you're looking for a payment plan option. The resources in there alone are worth way more than the price. The AI lead generation is invaluable, like crazy insane. You get cover letter templates, proposal templates, contract templates, scope of service templates, client onboarding checklists, mock interviews with clients, and the AI automation, all of it. You get everything. And not just learning the skills and the trades. You learn from a total beginner to, okay, how do I actually build the foundation, the basics 101s, and become an expert? You learn all of that. You're a certified expert in meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing after you take the course. You learn how to position yourself as an expert, how to actually book clients, how to create an entire business with it, automate it, and delegate the whole thing so that you're working only 10 hours a month. I have so many successful students. If you check out the link in my profile for the enrollment page, you'll see some student testimonials on there. I mean, it's been an incredible journey with you guys, and there's been nothing more rewarding in my life outside of my family than being on this journey with you guys. And when I get messages from you being like, oh my God, I just had my first 5K month, or oh my God, I just quit my job because I'm making so much money. Like I said earlier, I had a professor in here who said she quit her job as a professor because she was making so much money for the 10-hour 10K work month, and she'd only purchased a couple months ago. Like crazy. We're changing lives. We're transforming our lives, and we're doing it together. Like it's like you're a part of something, and I'm so grateful that you guys have put me into this position, and I'm so thankful, and I can't be more grateful. So thank you guys so much. If you want to take this weekend to really change your life, like you're tired of like waking up in the morning on Monday to your alarm clock, going to work again, like make this as a commitment to yourself, a promise that you're going to make a change and you're going to make it happen this weekend. There's no better time than the present. I promise. So thank you guys so much. I will talk and see you guys soon, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and the wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you so much.